Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and I get asked some technology questions on a pretty frequent basis about some of the technology category things that I use in my craft room. I know a lot of times we think of crafting tools as our paper punches and our more basic things, but there are definitely pieces of technology that I use every single day in my craft room. And so I thought I would share with you just a quick video of what I use, what I love, and what is working for me. Let's go. We are going to begin in my filming area where you will see first my 3 cutting machines. So I have a Silhouette, a Cricut Maker, and a Cricut Maker 3, the newest Cricut Maker, and I use them on a pretty regular basis. I would say the piece I use the most is probably the new Cricut Maker 3. Great for cutting out my printables, working with vinyl. I use it kind of all the time for all different kinds of things. The plus of a Cricut Maker is that it can cut through a lot of different materials. I have found it pretty easy to use. The software is pretty intuitive. So I absolutely love my Cricuts and my Silhouette as one of the first pieces of technology in my craft room. I get asked about lighting on a pretty frequent basis. So these are the lights that I currently use for filming. Let me just turn one on for you. So this is actually just a reading light, a clamp-on reading light. I will definitely link everything in the description box below. I have 2 of them that I use in my filming space. When I am crafting, I prefer bright white light. So this one actually has 2 settings where you can go to a lighter form as well. You can also do the warmer color. I like bright white, and that's how I light my videos. It really gives some good light, and I like that I can angle those in particular. Speaking of light, something else that I use in my craft room would be OTT light bulbs. So OTT lights are lights that are specifically designed for crafting. They're sold online and most commonly at Joann, but did you know that you can buy OTT light bulbs? So that is actually what is in my overhead light up there and what is in my regular lamp that I got from Target over there. And the OTT light bulbs are very, very true bright white, and they really brighten up my whole space. It makes a big difference over the standard light bulbs that I was using before. The last piece of technology over in my filming area that I love would be this tower. So this has 6 available plugs, actually more than 6. I love this tower. First of all, cute color, very functional. You can reach all the different pieces. You can see all my cutting machines are actually plugged in permanently, and I just pull the cords over, but this helps me to easily charge different devices. I love this piece, and it's just functional because it's over in the corner, and I like that I can get to a lot of different plugs really easily because there are things I plug in, like my heat tool, like my iPad, just different products that need plugs, and so to have it all in one space is really great. One last thing is this is my glitter vacuum, and I guess you would count this as a piece of technology. This has a simple on-off button, and it is fabulous at sucking up little bits and pieces that you have in your craft room, especially after working with embossing powder or glitter. You're going to want one of these. I will link it from Amazon. Although I'm not so sure that this counts as technology, this is the sewing machine that I have in my craft room. No, I don't actually sew anything with material. Normally, I sew on my paper products. I bought this during the first few months of COVID when we were at home, ordered it online. It is the Janome brand. Of course, I ordered it for the color, but it's really functional for me. It's great for paper. I believe it probably can do fabric as well, but I think it's kind of like a middle of the line machine, certainly not as powerful as if I were doing a lot of different sewing projects, but it's really functional and was really affordable at the time. So I'll link that as well. Probably the second most asked question that I get is how I print my photos at home. I have an Epson PictureMate PM400. It works really well. You can print on 4x6 or 5x7 or 3.5x5 inch. I like the quality. I generally I print photos on a weekly basis. About every 3 months, I have to replace the cartridge, so it's not too bad and not too expensive to replace. It works through Bluetooth from my phone, so I can print directly from my phone. I believe you can also connect it to your computer. It has some different settings, but I like the simplicity of it. I like the quality of photos and clarity in the photos. This one was a present that I received on my 30th birthday, so it is still kind of going strong for me, but it works really well. The only thing that's happened to mine is a little clasp broke off, so it doesn't close up completely anymore for me, but it tucks away at the back of my desk. I use it, like I said, on a weekly basis, if not more often. And I print from an app called Print to Size. Print to Size is an app that I use on my phone, and I rarely print a full 4x6 photo. A lot of times I'm working with smaller photos. So the app lets me import from my regular album. I can resize the photos to any custom size. I can put them in a collage and print it out like that. And I can print it regular pictures or grayscale, which sometimes I like to print in black and white. Of course, you can edit your pictures in other apps, but Print to Size just makes it really easy for me to control the size and get it all on one 4x6 or 5x7 page. Okay, and the most asked question is what printer I use. So I have an HP OfficeJet Pro 8025. I've had it for a couple of years now. So printer quality. I love this printer. I like it for a couple different reasons. I'm a big fan of the HP ink program where it just communicates from my printer and sends me new ink, so I don't have to remember to go buy ink, and I just pay a monthly charge for that, which is really helpful for my budget. Instead of with my old Epson printer, we had to, go drop $75 on new ink every couple months or every so often, depending on how much you were printing. So that I really like. This has a scanner, it has a copier, it prints on, a variety of sizes, kind of like your standard desktop printer. What you're going to want to think about with your printer is the paper you are using. So I always use bright white paper. I happen to like the HP 32 pound bright white paper. That's my printing paper for projects. This is regular copy paper. The thickness makes a difference, and the sheen and the whiteness really makes a difference in the clarity of your printing. I've had a few issues on this one so far with streaks and things like that, but it's pretty easy to troubleshoot on the screen through some of the settings where you can kind of go through and clean the print head and realign and things like that. So it's been pretty consistent for me. I'm actually a very big fan of this printer. Okay, so some other pieces of technology that I use in my craft room. I record all of my YouTube videos directly on my iPhone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro that is great, and I love the quality of it. I do voiceovers with this microphone. This is my blue microphone. It plugs directly into my MacBook, which I have a MacBook Pro that I do my editing on. I happen to use the Final Cut Pro software that I upgraded from. I started on iMovie, which is a great way to get into video editing, and then upgraded to Final Cut Pro when I got this new computer. If you have any other questions about some of the technology that I might use in my craft room, just be sure to drop them in the comments below. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. I love having conversations about this stuff. I know it seems a little bit nerdy, but some of the tools that we use for crafting, I find really interesting. So I like to hear why people use different things, and I'm always up for trying something new. As always, I will link everything that I pointed out in here in the description box below. If you can't find a link, just be sure to leave me a comment and I'll make sure that it is included in that description box. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon members. You guys are the best. You make my day all of the time. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to find out about Patreon and some of the perks that you can get over on my Patreon page, then you can check out the link to that page in the description box as well. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.